Welcome to English Story Hub. Learn English through fun stories. Improve vocabulary, listening, and speaking skills. Like, subscribe, and keep learning with us.
Whispers in the dark. The night was thick with the scent of rain, the streets slick and reflective beneath the dim glow of street lights. Amelia Carter stepped out of the car, pulling her coat tighter around her as she hurried toward the entrance of the old apartment building. She had never liked the feeling of being watched, but tonight, it was as if every shadow was alive, every corner hiding something she couldn't see. Amelia had always prided herself on her independence, but recently, things had changed. It was a subtle shift at first, an unexplained feeling of unease that gnawed at her, a presence she couldn't escape. No matter how many times she told herself it was just her imagination, it persisted, like a whisper just beyond her reach. As she walked into the lobby, the building seemed emptier than usual. The receptionist was gone, and the only sound was the faint hum of the elevator as it ascended to the higher floors. She took the stairs instead, the creaking steps beneath her feet amplifying the stillness of the night. Her apartment was on the third floor, at the end of a narrow hallway. As she approached her door, she noticed something out of place. A small piece of paper slipped under the crack. Her heart skipped a beat as she knelt to pick it up. It was a single sentence, written in hastily scrawled handwriting, "I see you." The words sent a shiver down her spine. She had been feeling paranoid lately, but this was something else. Amelia quickly unlocked the door and stepped inside, locking it behind her. The apartment was eerily quiet, save for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic. She tried to shake off the sense of dread that seemed to follow her. That night, as she lay in bed, sleep eluded her. Every sound in the building seemed amplified, the creak of floorboards, the rustle of paper, the soft drip of water from the leaky faucet in the bathroom. And then, just as she was about to drift off, she heard it, a whisper. Soft, barely audible, but unmistakable. Amelia. She froze, her breath caught in her throat. The voice was familiar, but she couldn't place it. She scanned the dark room, her heart racing. Nothing. Just the shadows. The next morning, Amelia was exhausted. She barely managed to drag herself out of bed, the weight of the night's unease still clinging to her. She hadn't told anyone about the note, not yet. It seemed too crazy, even for her. Who would believe her? She showered, brewed a cup of coffee, and tried to focus on the day ahead. She had a meeting at work, followed by a few errands to run. But as she glanced at the clock, she saw that it was already later than she had thought. She needed to leave. As she stepped out of the apartment, the silence of the building seemed even more oppressive. She locked the door and descended the stairs, her footsteps echoing in the empty hallway. When she reached the lobby, she was startled to see someone standing by the front desk. It was a man, tall and broad-shouldered, with dark hair and piercing eyes. He was staring directly at her, as if waiting for her to notice him. Amelia's pulse quickened. "Can I help you?" she asked, trying to sound casual. The man smiled faintly, though there was something unsettling about the expression. "I was just admiring the building. It has character, don't you think?" Amelia wasn't sure what to make of him. "Yes, it's old, but it's been well maintained," she said, keeping her distance. He took a step closer, and for a moment, the air between them seemed charged. "You know," he said softly, "some things can't be hidden forever." Amelia frowned. "What are you talking about?" The man's smile widened, but it wasn't a reassuring smile. It was predatory, like he knew something she didn't. "I think you know exactly what I mean," he said, his voice low. Before she could respond, he turned and walked toward the door, disappearing into the street. Amelia stood there for a moment, stunned, unsure of what had just happened. Who was that man? And why did he seem so familiar? That evening, as the shadows grew long and the streetlights flickered to life, Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching her. She kept looking over her shoulder, certain that she wasn't alone. But whenever she turned around, no one was there. When she arrived home, she immediately checked the door to make sure it was locked. The feeling of being followed was too strong to ignore. She couldn't explain it, but something about this building, about the apartment itself, felt off. She had lived here for years, but it was only recently that she had begun to feel like she was no longer in control of her own space. She tried to push the thought away and focused on the mundane tasks of her evening, making dinner, washing dishes, reading a book. But even as she tried to settle in, the whispers returned. This time, they were louder, more insistent. "Amelia." She froze, her hand gripping the edge of the counter. The voice was clearer now, a malevolent undertone lacing each syllable. She dropped the dish she was holding, the porcelain shattering on the floor, but she didn't move. The whispering continued. She tried to shake it off, but the sense of dread grew. With shaking hands, she grabbed her phone and dialed her best friend, Sarah. The phone rang twice before Sarah picked up. "Amelia? What's wrong?" Sarah's voice was laced with concern. I don't know." "Something's wrong," Amelia whispered, glancing nervously toward the darkened hallway. "I feel like I'm being watched. Like there's something in this apartment." Sarah paused on the other end of the line. "Amelia, you are scaring me. Are you sure you are okay?" "I don't know," Amelia admitted. I keep hearing whispers. I don't know who or what it is, but it's like something's lurking in the dark." "Listen," Sarah said, her voice steady. "Get out of there. Come stay with me tonight. You are not alone in this, okay?" Amelia hesitated, but only for a moment. "Okay," she said, finally giving in. "I'll be there soon." She grabbed her bag, still feeling the weight of the whispers in her ears. As she stepped into the hallway, she could have sworn she saw something, a shadow darting at the edge of her vision, just beyond reach. When Amelia arrived at Sarah's apartment, she was shaking, her body trembling with the remnants of fear. She quickly explained everything to Sarah, who listened with a growing sense of concern. "Amelia, this is serious," Sarah said, pacing. "You need to find out what's going on in that building. If someone's watching you, we need to figure out who and why." Amelia nodded, but deep down, she was terrified. She knew that something was wrong, but she couldn't explain it. All she knew was that the feeling of being watched, of being followed, was growing stronger by the day. That night, as she lay in Sarah's guest room, Amelia thought she heard something again. A whisper, soft at first, but growing louder. "Amelia, it's time." The voice was clearer now, and it filled her with a sense of dread that she couldn't shake. She bolted upright in bed, her heart racing. "Who's there?" she whispered into the darkness, but there was no answer. Suddenly, the door to her room creaked open, and Amelia's blood ran cold. She looked up to see the figure of a man standing in the doorway, his face obscured by shadows. It was the same man she had seen earlier that day. The man stepped forward, his face now visible in the dim light. His eyes were cold, his expression unreadable. "You should have left while you had the chance," he said, his voice low and haunting. Amelia's breath caught in her throat. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" The man smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. "I've been watching you for a long time, Amelia. You're the one who can unlock the door to the truth. You're the one who can stop what's been set in motion." "What are you talking about?" Amelia demanded, her voice shaky but defiant. He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "You are not just a victim, Amelia. You are part of the story. And now, the story is coming for you." The next morning, Sarah found Amelia gone. The only trace she left behind was a single note, written in the same cryptic handwriting as before. "It's too late. The door is open." No one ever saw Amelia again. The whispers, however, never stopped.